Hello, this is Reverend Ken Wilcox at the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. So I have been sharing for the past couple of weeks my idea that in our area we should look for the blooming of the amaryllis bulbs. We're so fortunate here in St. Augustine that you can just leave an amaryllis bulb in the ground year round, and not only will it multiply, but they bloom spectacularly this time of the year. It's really a joy to see. So I've made the suggestion that every time you see an amaryllis, you should consider it as a trumpet of Spirit's love for you, because that's kind of what they remind me of. They remind me of an angel's trumpet, a trumpet of a knowing, an insight, a better idea. And I also recommend that when you see one of these bulbs, that you just take a moment and say a quick prayer for yourself, or perhaps for a family member or a friend, or goodness knows the world needs our prayers. And it doesn't have to be burdensome. It can be quick. It can be joyful. You don't have to announce to everybody what you're doing. Just say a quick little prayer. The Spirit is anxious to hear from you. You know, I'm teaching a class these last couple of months on can we talk to God? And of course, we say, yes, you talk to God. First of all, you're doing it all the time, and that's your self-talk. That's your talk with God. That's your prayer unceasing. And so we encourage you through the use of a technique called affirmative prayer to elevate the vibration of that talk, to speak well of yourself. So yes, we can talk with God, and then the flip side becomes, well, can Spirit speak to us? And I think it most certainly does, through our better ideas for ourselves, for each other in the world. This is how Spirit speaks to us. Now, most of the time, of course, we want that big, huge, booming voice from the sky with angels, but when that kind of dramatic breakthrough, a metaphysical breakthrough, that typically doesn't work out well for people. They have a hard time taking that in and then going back and having a normal life. So I think Spirit speaks to us through the still small voice. That's our intuition, and also through signs and symbols. What's showing up in your life? What can you see before you, and what are you willing to work with? So, as I mentioned, looking for the amaryllis, it just so happened that our next door neighbors were moving to a condo, and they had a whole bag of amaryllis bulbs that they wanted to give us. And we'd had a late spring here, so I hadn't gotten around to planting them. And when I eventually did, I realized that the bulbs were already trying to bloom. And the blooms were very pale green. They look very spindly, and they look very sickly. So at first I felt guilty about not having gotten to the project earlier. But I got the bulbs into the ground in a nice sunny place. I gave them water, and they are growing and thriving and strong. And I thought to myself, what is Spirit trying to share with me? And the concept I got was that there are places in my life that are ready to bloom and blossom. I just need to get them in some good sunlight. What does sunlight represent? My good attention. I need to pay a greater attention to the good that's wanting to bloom and blossom in my life. And so how do I do that? Well, I look around to see how is life blessing me, and how can I pass this blessing forward? Because if you just hold on to the blessing, much like the amaryllis bulbs in a plant, they're not going to bloom to their full potential. You've got to pass on that blessing, and then that is when you will start having the strong, powerful growth in the sunlight of God's great blessings. And so for me, it's just making sure that I acknowledge the blessings I have and do what I can to pass them along. This past week, we go to a trivia game, and one of our players there, it was her birthday, and so we wanted to get her a nice cake. I had gone by to the local bakery, and I had put the order in. The night that I was due to go pick it up, I got there, and it wasn't ready. The young man at the bakery, he was kind of running around. The general manager got involved. He was running around. Finally, a woman about my age, she must have been the manager of the bakery. She showed up, she shooed them out of the way. She got busy and she created a wonderful cake within just, 10 minutes. I guess she felt bad about not having it ready for me when I got there because she didn't charge me for it. It was a $25 cake I got for free. What a blessing. But now here's the challenge. How can I pass that on? Well, I can share that good news with people. That's a one way to lift people up and inspire. I can also take time out to write a thank you note to her and to her boss and let them know that they've got a person in that bakery who can really and step into a mess up and make a customer happy. This is all that life is asking of us, to take what we've been given, to make the best of it, and to pass it along, to make the world a better place right where we are. And you have the power to do it. Spirit is guiding you every step of the way, and it is heaven on earth is your destination. And you can see it, you can breathe it, and you can live it here now in this lifetime because it's what you've come to do. You really are wonderful. Spirit has never doubted your potentials. It's far more impressed with your possibilities than it has ever been upset by any of your mistakes. And it knows the best of you, the best of you is yet to be. This is the truth in your life today. It's the truth in mine, and so it is.